何も書けなくなるの星屑のリネスきっと愛する人を大切にして知らずに臆病なのね落ちた涙も見ないふりすれ違いや回り道を後が歌い過ぎたら二人は触れ合うのお願いタッチタッチここにタッチあなたから風を伸ばして受け取ってよため息の花だけ束ねたブーケ
And welcome to episode 80 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. Anime Edition is upon you guys. I'm your host, JD, joined, as usual, by Tori and Hickey. My main man's over here. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing alright.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. Yeah. I drank a lot yesterday.
Oh, me too. I
Yeah.
was watching a bunch of women's wrestling. There was a big group chat going on and everything. Still on my Vermont beer kick, but I feel pretty good today, actually. So I'm quite surprised with myself.
Hickey did not burn in the shower.
I did
Burn
not.
in the shower?
My shower caught on fire.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, I also didn't ask any questions. Look, a lot of wacky shit happens when I'm not home. Usually it's my father doing stuff. And I know the answer is way worse than whatever the fuck happened. So I stopped asking questions. Like when my toilet exploded.
What?
or-
I'm sorry?
Yes. My toilet
It's like an
went
episode out of Mr. Bean or something?
Just another day in
Like-
Hickey's life.
Yeah, like there's just... When I was forced to do the electrical cabling of my apartment. Stuff happens. I don't ask questions.
Hickey gets home. I'm gonna take a shower, is that? No, don't do that. The shower caught fire. Okay. Fair.
Best I don't know. I will let my imagination do that.
Yep.
The toilet exploded, you say? Did you have Taco Bell or something?
No. It's because I live in the first floor of a 10-story building.
Okay.
So they were trying to do something in the toilet, and because of the water column, the pressure is way too big. So they fucked up, and then the pressure of the water flushing in the toilet exploded it.
That
Because
is
when they do
outstanding.
when they do the piping, because they say they don't equalize the pressure, so they just let it all go down to the bottom. You're like, yeah, sure, that's
I
gonna be
have
fine.
such a big smile on my face right now. I love stories like that.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. Things have been kind of fun for me as well. I recently turned 25, so that's fun.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
thank
birthday
you.
to you.
29th. Nobody remembered.
No,
It's not like you told us.
I actually remembered, but I forgot.
I remembered, but I
Sorry.
forgot. That's okay.
Yeah, it was in the morning. I was like, oh, wait. Oh, today's Tori's birthday. I'll talk to him later. And
I'll talk to
that
him
later
later.
never came.
I just had no idea.
How long have I been on this podcast? God damn it! Do I have to remind you every year? Nah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes, you
yeah,
do.
I had my birthday came, and a couple days later, yesterday, I went to get my sight checked, and because I'm such a special guy, I came in, sat down, did the fucking sight test, and the fucking the person doing the test for me just went afterwards and back. Well, that's new, and I'm like, what do you mean? Well, in all my years
Always
working
something
here,
you want to hear
Yeah.
with your eyes.
no, but it's like, in all my years working here, I've never had anyone come into a first control and score as low as you did today. And I'm like, oof, I'm glad. I'm special. That's kind of a tradition for me when it comes to literally anything when it's medically related. It doesn't matter. I can have a common cold, but my common cold is special. It's funny like that.
It
So I just
also
came in-
comes with the bird flu.
Yep, it's like it's actually hilarious. I always have special versions of everything I have, so I'm just coming like, okay, so what's my problem? Well, you'll be needing glasses, and I'm like, I figured. My sight isn't really that bad. It's just kind of, well, my left eye is all kinds of fucked. I can't really see through my left eye, so
Oh,
I can see, but I can't read.
That's like listening to Jay. He's like, oh yeah, I have, I don't have hearing in one of my ears. Like, oh, and now Tori is half blind.
I'm not
cool.
half blind.
Everyone of the Red Leaf Retrocast has so many issues with their bodies.
Everything is just fogged, I guess.
Yeah, it's like if I get close. Like the funny thing is, like if I get really close or like kind of far away, I can read. But if I'm like now when I'm like at a middle distance between the text that I've written, it's like, I see there's something there. What the fuck does it say, though?
Oh, that's so bizarre.
It's only one eye. So yeah, I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get glasses.
Here's a thought.
Okay.
Have you thought about wearing an eye patch full time?
I thought about it, but they didn't really recommend that. Kind of saying something about it doesn't really solve the problem. So
Oh, come on, that's no fun. Oh, a monocle. How about a monocle?
Same thing. It's not really.
Damn it.
Glasses are easier to wear than a monocle. You got to keep that monocle in place yourself.
No, come on. You can get like a strap or something.
Yeah, let me get a strap on.
Well, hold on.
If you want to word it that way, I won't stop you.
Monocle.
Tori, I'm just thinking of a possible pirate or scoffing top hat cosplay.
I know. I let them know. I said they were kind of boring. They didn't let me have any fun, but they were like, "Nah, glasses." I'm like, "Fine. I'll take glasses. This way, I can at least appear smart."
I suppose you could look at it that way. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that my grades improved as soon as I got glasses, because obviously that made me smarter.
Listen. You don't when you get glasses, you don't even have to answer questions or anything like that. When they ask you something, you just push up your glasses, and everybody's like, "Oh, oof, oh, this guy knows."
He means business.
Don't even answer that question. We know you know.
And then when people know you're really serious, you just take them off slowly, and you close them. Everyone goes, "All right, I'm not fucking with this guy. He took his glasses off."
Unless you're that guy.
My health is okay.
Unless you're that fucking main character from The God of High School who just walked up and be like, "Take your glasses off."
You wouldn't punch a guy with glasses, would you? Absolutely, I would.
You wouldn't punch a guy with glasses? No, I wouldn't. That's why I'm taking your glasses off first.
So just a little overall podcast update. RedleafRetrocast.blogspot.com has many different things. Tori, do I have your permission to throw some of your YouTube videos on there?
Yes.
Do I?
Yes, of course you do.
Okay, cool. So you will be looking forward to... I want to add something special to the Anime Cast, and since you have a YouTube channel that we could easily promote, and you're part of this, figured it'd be good. The wrestling thing is going very well, except the fact that the network that Red Leaf Retrocast has been a part of has been shut down by New Japan and TV Asahi, so the network is temporarily shut down for the time being, which is a huge bummer. Apparently, New Japan Pro Wrestling and TV Asahi went on a big blocking spree and shutting down YouTube accounts and whatnot, so stay tuned for more information there. But for the time being, we're still on our regular outlets going forward. So that's just a little update on that end. What are we talking about today on this podcast? Well, if you couldn't tell by the title, we are reviewing the anime from the 80s, Touch, the love triangle, I guess you could say, and baseball-focused anime. And we're doing part 2, episodes 27 through 54, which is the second arc of the show, you could say, that focuses on a lot of the baseball aspect in a different manner this time around. So looking forward to that later. And then we got a special little, fun little theme topic that we got in the middle of the show here. So fun episode. How quick it is? I guess it could be a shorter episode, but every time I say that, it ends up being like 2 hours anyways. So maybe we can cut that down today. Tori, how's I'm very curious. How's Ghost of Sushi going for you?
Ghost of Sushi is fun still. I haven't really played it that much as I would have liked. I'm still doing a lot of side missions. I was basically at that point where I was like, you know what, I need to get out of Act 1. I've been in Act 1 so much because I just keep walking around and doing side quests and talking to
Oh my
people,
God, I feel
activating
you
new
on that
side
one.
quests, looking for more stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should actually try to progress the main story a little bit and open up
Yeah, a
more of
little
the
bit.
map.
Maybe open up the map. Oh my God, there's still like the entire
Yeah.
north
Yeah.
to do.
And that's like you open up the second part, and it's like, okay, where's the next castle? In the middle. And it's like, oh God, there's even more.
I'm still in Act 1 myself. I've been kind of focusing on Paper Mario just because it's something to pick up and play before I go to bed at night.
Mm.
And can't really do that with a PS4.
I mean, I can pick it up and play. Just have to pick up my controller.
You just need to sleep in the couch.
Oh, well, I mean...
Well, my couch is kind of on its side right now behind me. So, you know...
Excuse me?
We're gonna tear it apart and throw it out.
Why?
Because it's old as shit, and
Oh,
it's time to fucking get a new one.
you do. Oh, well, I mean, I look forward to your couch update next podcast, because nothing's better than sitting on that fresh new couch and playing a video game. Or watching an anime, which I have done almost none of. I haven't even started this new season.
Yeah, same. I'm basically... I don't know, like, at this point, I get through, like, spells of wanting to watch anime. I sit down and I watch a few episodes, and then, like, next day I'm like, I don't really feel like it. Maybe I catch a few episodes before bed if I feel like it, but not really. Even that. I rewatched the first two Takeshi Koike Lupin movies, and then I finally watched Fujiko's Lie. So,
Ooh,
yay.
good stuff.
It is good, yes.
Okay.
I'm definitely... It's not... I mean, obviously there hasn't been an announcement yet, but if I had to guess, it's definitely not over yet, because there's still unresolved plots, and they kind of got through some stuff that I assume that they want to flesh out more. So I assume there will be at least one more movie, which, you know, focusing on Lupin.
This one focuses on Lupin, and it brings the whole group together and ties in plot lines. Yeah, I can totally see
However, there could still be 2 more episodes, because they could also do an episode focused on Senigata.
Oh, they could, yes.
Because he's kind of been missing in these first 3 movies. Like, he was a little bit part of Goemon's Spray of Blood, but other than that, he's kind of been in the backseat. Kind of shows up and gets like a scene here and there, but mostly isn't really involved. So I actually do hope that they do a movie dedicated on Senigata. I like more serious Senigata.
It would be nice. He's my favorite character in Lupin. I would really appreciate him getting a kind of film noir vibe movie. Would be really nice.
Yeah, the reason why I haven't been watching as much anime as I usually do is I've just been on this crazy video game kick. What we're covering for the podcast and the last couple games that have come out in July, they've been really, really good. Like, I got like halfway through Sly Cooper 2, which was really fun to revisit for the podcast that just came out for Animal Protagonists. We got a Bad Parenting theme coming up next, which includes Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo, Yoshi's Island, which I've never played before, playing it now. Very adorable game. And then, of course, Paper Mario and Ghost of Sushi. It's just taking up so much time, and I'm having so much fun doing that. So if it's not podcast related for the anime podcast, it's just kind of on hold for the time being. So very much enjoying. And then the wrestling community, especially in the Discord, we've been having a lot of watch party themes. Every Wednesday night we watch the AEW show, which has been a blast. Just my mom joins and she's just talking shit the whole time. It's really funny. Everyone gets a kick out of her. Just came out with like a 5.5 hour joint podcast episode that it's crazy. So wrestling and video games taking up a lot of time. Anime is just kind of playing third wheel for the time being. But that doesn't mean I didn't vastly enjoy what we're covering for the podcast lately. Especially coming up with Legend of Galactic Heroes. We're finishing up that finally. That's the next episode. Hooray.
Yay.
Hooray. Finally.
Finally, I don't have to watch it anymore. No, I'm joking.
Oh, what are you talking about? There's a sequel. There's movies. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to talk to the experienced Legend of the Galactic Heroes watchers, you know, we have done this completely wrong because we didn't start at the beginning. There are prequels as well. So,
Oh, poo-poo.
you didn't watch it correctly, JD. How
Who
dare
says
you?
we can't watch it later?
You're not allowed. You need to watch it in chronological order.
I apologize. Let's watch Monogatari in time of release date. How about that?
That's what I did.
Yeah. When did the first Monogatari come out? 2009?
Yeah, I think so. 8, 9.
Yes, the first one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we got a ways to go before we start tackling that show.
Well, eventually it'll be there.
Always, yes. No, come on. We already discovered that we're stopping at episode 100.
Oh yeah, that's
Totally.
right. Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
the last thing we have on the docket. Correct.
Yeah, that's the rule. That's the rule. A podcast is not allowed to go over 100 episodes. Once you hit that, it's over. Sorry.
That's when everybody said, "Sorry, I can't record this month. I'm busy." Or next month. Or really this year.
Right, yeah, it just disappears into the ether. I have noticed during quarantine, a lot of the regular, whether it be video game or anime podcasts I listen to, they just stop putting shit out during this quarantine period.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Because I've noticed that with my YouTube as well. Like, my production has gone... My productivity has gone down, which is weird because, you know, you'd think being stuck inside all day, you'd be more productive, but apparently it doesn't work like that. But, the same thing is like, I noticed that views and everything has just... July has been a horrible month for me.
I noticed that for our podcast downloads as well. Very strange. Well, I guess, no, that's been kind of the theme throughout quarantine is, you know, people just they're not commuting to work or school. So podcasts are just not on the brain.
Sure, but you'd think that with more time, people would spend more time watching YouTube. At least that's what I thought. But apparently, people have figured out that they would much rather be outside working in their yard or fixing stuff and I don't know, being productive in some meaningful way. I don't like it.
Lame. They're not braving the coronavirus and going to work for 9 hours a day like me and listening to nonstop podcasts?
Some people are.
I'm like running out all the time because my regular ones just aren't producing. How dare they? How dare they?
I just sleep when I go to work. And then I go back. So there's nothing I can do about that. I'm fighting the Rona. I've been working, but I just sleep in the bus.
Hickey just watches VTubers the entire time. It's okay. We all know.
No, I don't have the mobile data.
Sure.
You guys in your VTuber chats.
Yep. It will never stop.
Just look in. I'm like,
Probably
I can't contribute.
No, you cannot.
If you want to. No.
No, I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, no.
And suddenly everything's on fire.
I know there was a wrestler, I think, posting Hololive memes or something.
Everybody's getting into it now. It's kind of strange. People that I'm randomly... People that I'm randomly following on Twitter and shit like that. Yeah.
He was photoshopping them into WWE pictures.
Oh, boo.
Nice. People that I've been following on Twitter for like years have just randomly started posting virtual YouTuber stuff, and I'm like, I didn't even realize that you were into this type of stuff.
I found him. His name is Brandon Williams.
Oh, he is I believe he's a WWE wrestler, and he's a big anime fan.
That's probably why.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
All right. I want to get into this this topic we have here.
Same.
So, yeah, let's do Speed Racer. How about that?
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go!
All right, let me make my little note there. Perfect. Okay. So I saw this going around on Twitter. Andrew from Anime Junkie podcast. Wait, do I have that right? Sure. Uh-oh. I think I blanked on his podcast name. Anyways, he posted, and I think I saw Mandy from the Anime Addicts podcast. They're posting kind of their 1 to 10 rankings based off of their MAL scores, and what they do is they post your favorite anime from each score. That's the idea behind it.
And then they...
So I thought that was a fun little thing that we could do for the podcast. And I kind of went about mine in my own little unique way. I didn't go my favorite for each one, but I went for the anime of why I would score that number for each one. Like what kind of anime would be associated with that score for my kind of flavor about it? Did you guys do something similar, or did you stick to kind of what everyone else was doing?
I stuck to my favorite from each score, and
Yeah,
I also included
favorite.
I also included movies, because I can't be bothered only doing TV series, because movies and OVAs and stuff matters too. God damn it! And you know, I also don't cheat. I also don't leave everything from like 4 or 3 or down unlisted, because you would even use the scores. I use these scores.
Right.
I feel that. Fuck you, Tori.
What's the matter,
you.
Hickey?
If you wanna call me out, fuck off. Fuck you. If you're gonna call me out, then call me out by name. You.
Okay, well, first of all,
Piece
I
of
wasn't actually
crap.
calling you out. I was calling somebody else out. But you know, yeah, sure, Hickey. You too.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't give 10s and 1s.
Hickey doesn't have favorites, or least favorites.
Yeah, no, I also included everything, but I tried to go with older things.
Sure,
because,
Keep up with the retro theme.
Yeah. Although most of the stuff is just in the 2000s.
I was about to say early to mid 2000s, early to mid 2000s,
Yeah,
early to mid
it's-
2000s.
yeah. Because and it's not only because of that. Usually retro stuff, I tend to score higher. So most of the retro anime, they got a 7+ score. So it's in a very complicated zone, which is basically most of the anime I have in my list.
Yeah, but
So like
go on.
it was so difficult. Like the 8 and the 9, there's so even the 6, but then after that is easier.
For me, it was pretty easy. I mean, like, one of the things I would like, though, just add before we get into it, I like for everybody to kind of give, like, it doesn't have to be long, but a little bit of a reason for why you picked that show you did, for the score that you did. Not just like, I picked that for that.
Oh, I put a little note of why I did that. So I feel you, Tori. I feel
Yeah,
you.
because just saying, like, for 10, I gave this show, it's like, okay, sure. And like, or 9, I gave this. It's like, why?
No. So, is it going to be more fun to start at 10, or are we going to work our way up
I think
from
it's
1?
more fun to start at 10, because the interesting shows are what you rate higher towards the bottom of the scale.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the funny ones are.
I mean, 10 is obvious. Like, your top for 10 is obvious. That is your favorite anime. Unless you do what JD did, but I don't know.
Alrighty, so let's get this thing started. Are you okay, guys, with the order of Tori, Hickey, me? Or shall we go me, Hickey, Tori? Hickey, Tori, me?
I don't want to go first.
Sure. You don't want to go first?
No.
I'll go first.
I can
How
go
about that?
first.
Hickey, you want to go first? Hickey, you go
Yeah.
first.
I don't have a 10. I don't give out 10s, so I don't have a score 10
Lame.
anime. I don't think there's a anime that could be described as a masterpiece. Thus, I don't give 10s.
Lame.
Of course,
Lame.
if I just go and pick some anime, every single person in the crew just died already.
Dude, you could just put Anna Green
Then-
Gables there.
then
It's like
that
the
would
highest
be-
rated anime we've done for the podcast.
I
That's
gave
a
an
10.
8, so with that,
Fuck
I
off.
gave 8 of Joanne of Green Gables. I really like it, but give it an 8. I would have, and for me, something that qualifies as a 10. It's a extremely specific thing.
But Spirited Away, it won a fucking Oscar.
That
sounds like a 10 to me.
yeah, I guess it's not the feeling. It's again, the Oscars are just shit.
Oh my god. Tori, you believe what this guy's saying right now?
I do believe that the Oscars are shit, yes.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. See. Yeah, no, I just don't give out 10s. It would have to be like this one anime with exceedingly good, like remarkably good production, money, no problems whatsoever, no problems with production, no problems with distribution. Everyone in the crew should be pretty much deceased because they cannot produce anything better than that. So like it's a highly specific thing for me to be considered a 10, a masterpiece. That's why I don't give them.
All right.
Lame.
I'll take this up a notch then. My number 10.
Well, sure.
All right. Third best host of the Anime Cast will take this up a notch. That's not how I like to advertise myself, but here we go. Monster from 2004 is my anime I've put at 10. And the reason why is not only do I think, of course, it's a 10, but I think it's usually those anime that are universally praised from the masses. It involves a deep, intricate storyline and something that has an insane amount of rewatch value to it and stands the test of time. So that's why I've put Monster at 2004. And for those that don't know what Monster is, it's a murder mystery kind of psycho thriller to it. It's 50 plus episodes. It's just an extremely well written, huge character work, an intricate plot to it all. And that's what I have at number 10.
Probably more a psychological thriller than this a murder mystery.
Yeah, I kind of corrected myself on that one. Yeah.
So we're doing one
and
score.
It takes place in it takes place in Germany. You can watch it in multiple languages. It's awesome.
Or you can watch it in a language you understand, which is Japanese, because nobody watches it in
I
English.
understand it in German, Tori. All right.
Yeah, but you're not everyone. You're not me. Anyways, all right. So my 10 is shock horror. It's my favorite anime of all time. It is Aria the Animation. All of it. It's to me, it is just obviously I haven't given all of it a 10, but the entire show to me is just, it's so great. I still watch it. Like, I haven't rewatched the show in full, but I still watch it, like, clips from certain scenes, certain episodes, rewatch a lot of it. And, especially now that there's apparently there was talk of a movie coming out to this one, which I assume would probably be like
yes, I did see that.
retelling or something like that. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. And yeah, I absolutely
When it
love
comes
this.
out, I would like your review over the movie.
Yeah, whenever it comes out, if it if it does.
Yeah, if maybe.
Mhm.
All right, Hickey, let's get your number 9 going here.
All right, my number 9 is
What qualifies as
something,
the 90% out of 100?
Something we covered in this podcast before. It is the movie Jinro. This is my number 9. If you want to know more, you can go back at the episode we reviewed it. It is a exceedingly good movie. Not only a animated movie, but a movie overall, a motion picture overall. The music is really good.
63.
The story is exceedingly good. The visuals as well. It's not anime-esque. It's more like standard animation. The story itself, it can be seen as many angles as I also like. The first one just cops against terrorists and this post World War II world, dystopic world.
Sure.
Then if you watch once, if you watch the second time, you can get a little bit more of the intrigues of the police, why they want to get rid of the unit, the werewolves. Then if you watch the live action movies from the 80s, which I did, you get a completely different opinion on the characters, an opinion of what they are doing. Like, you discover that world is a kind of a Kaiserreich world where like Germany won World War II and it colonized Japan for some reason. It's just way too wacky, the story of the world, and having the background from the movies. What happened after the story or during the story of the animated Jinro with the actual characters from the original work. Also, like, reading the original work as well. It is very, very good. Although the 80s movies are a little bit weird. They're almost a comedy, but it has a main to it. It was like, it's a very good overall experience. That's why it's my number 9.
Alrighty. My 9 out of 10 anime I've put here is Black Lagoon from 2006. And these go down as I'm a mark for this show rating, where I think it's just a kick-ass awesome show with a few flaws. I just can't justify giving it a 10, but I am so in love with what I have seen that it just goes up a mark. And that's what Black Lagoon is. The anime is an action, balls to the wall, girls with guns kind of thing, and there also has a huge fan base to it all. So yes, I'm a mark for the show rating. Black Lagoon 2006.
Black Lagoon is great. For my number 9,
awesome, Tori.
for my number 9, I thought about doing Black Lagoon as well, but I thought, nah, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Akage no En. It is
Totally fair.
We've done the podcast on this one already. It's just such an amazing, like, when it comes to just pure like slice of life and coming of age stories in particular, it's hard to find an anime like that does that whole thing better than Akage no En does. It's such an emotional ride for those 50 episodes, and it's I don't know. We praised it a lot on the podcast episode, so if you want to hear all about that, then go and listen to that. But again, it's such a rare thing. It's such a shame that the whole Masterpiece Theater thing got shut down, because like that taking on different like literature, like literary masterpieces like that, and making anime out of them, and especially as competently as things like Akage no En, is just something you don't see very much anymore, and it's great. That was normally just alternate takes on it.
Episode 21. You can go back and listen to our review over Anne of Green Gables. So, there you go. That qualifies for my number 10, just because of the intricate story, and like you said, you just don't find many anime like that in general, so there you go. Hickey, take us to the 8 out of 10 rank.
My 8 out of 10 is ROD, Read or Die OVA. It's a 3-episode OVA from...
Excuse me?
Read or Die.
Read or Die.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a great show. Come on, Tori.
I did not like the OVA.
Really?
No.
I really enjoy the OVAs. I quite enjoy the OVAs. I think it's better than the actual TV series. Yeah, nothing much there. 2001 to 2002, it's just my jam. It's wacky, it's dumb, it's action-packed, seinen with interesting powers to it. The power to manipulate paper is basically the power of the main character, as she goes around collecting books because she loves it, and stop a bunch of resurrected historical figures to dominate the world and extinct human race, something like that. It's a very interesting, very wacky 2000s anime.
Alrighty. I got Lupin III from 1971 for my 8 out of 10 rank. And in parentheses I have, it's better than Shonen score. But it's not kind of the I'm a mark for the show. I'm a big Lupin III fan. Absolutely. A lot of the very good episodic shows tend to get the 8 out of 10s. Maybe the stories could be more intricate, maybe a little bit more deeper, or more deep. So yeah, Lupin III, we've covered on the podcast a number of times, different iterations from it, from season 1 to a special OVA episode we've done in the past. Very easy to just go to redleafretrocast.com, type in Lupin III, and you can easily find the couple podcasts we've covered that. Very much enjoy these shows. They're just missing certain elements to kick it up another notch to that mark 9 out of 10 score that I have. So yeah, that's what I got most Lupin at, is those 8 out of 10s. The good Lupins, I should say.
Yeah, alright. So my 8 out of 10 is actually my third favorite anime movie. I would have had my number 1 favorite anime movie, but sadly that would have been a 9, and it just doesn't quite make it up there. So my third favorite anime movie is actually The Disappearance of Haruyu Suzumiya. 48. It's a movie that just... Now, I enjoyed The Melancholy of Haruyu Suzumiya, the TV series. I thought it was good, but it never quite made it up to like great for me. It was fun watch, but it's not like a show that I'm like, oh, I died. This is the show. It was a fun show first time, but then I watched The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, and it's just like that movie after the series is just it's just leagues better. I love it so much. It's such a fucking amazing movie. It is probably my favorite. Probably my favorite Kyoto Animation work in general. It's amazing.
It is, and very long.
Yeah, but you know what? It didn't feel like it.
All right, now it's number 7.
Yes.
We start to get to the wacky stuff.
Oh, yes, we do.
My number 7. I don't know. I think I don't know what was going on yesterday. I know that I drink a lot. That's about it. I chose Kotetsu Tenshi Kurubi or Steel Angel Kurubi. It is the pinnacle of Japanese entertainment industry in the late 90s. The show came out in 1999 and ended in 2000s, the January, like mid-March 2000s. I don't think you have you guys ever heard about this shit?
No.
I have not heard of the show. It sounds like a 7 out of 10.
It's like, yeah, if it sounds like a 7 out of 10, it is a 7 out of 10. Basically, during the First World War, a scientist in Japan just made an android. That's basically it, and which is Kurubi, the Steel Angel. And then the army started to kind of pressure him into making androids because everyone was fucking having like just bolt action rifles, and this guy had a fucking android, and they're like, let's make weapons out of this and conquer Manchuria because that's what Japan did, and anyway, history. And then he said, no, fuck you. Then just your main character comes in, finds the robot, activates her. Now she's like in love with him, whatever. It's just that. It is the pinnacle of late 90s Japanese anime stuff. Everything is just late 1999, 2000s. That transition to the modern-ish era of anime we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wacky, fun one.
Alrighty, 7 out of 10 for the Mal scores. Ranma 1/2 from 1989. I dub this the shonen score. 7 out of 10. I'm a shonen. I'm a big shonen fan. Big basic fan, you might say, and basic anime that are entertaining, but they're not gonna light the world on fire with its stories. It's just gonna get you invested for many, many episodes. It is also your above average score, which is most shonen. So yeah, I got Ranma 1/2. Very easy shonen comedy type with some action in it. The show's from 1989. Any argument that most shonens get a 7 out of 10? It's also the most basic Mal score out there, so I thought it worked perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Usually, 6, 7. Because
it's
shonen, it's like, it's not bad, but it's just standard, so it just gets the standard score.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Unless, you fuck up real bad. Then,
All right. So my number 7 is, funny enough, probably with the way I talk about it a lot, one of my favorite shows. It is Lupin the Third. Not a particular Lupin the Third, I just gave it... So I put Lupin the Third there because 7 is probably my most common score for Lupin the Third stuff. There's a few 8s and a few 6s and below, but generally speaking, I enjoy Lupin. Again, it's the episodic nature. It's not groundbreaking in any way. It's very simple, but it's a lot of fun, easy to watch. Should be after consider the fact that I've almost watched all of the main part of Lupin, including pretty much every single spin-off movie and everything that's happened. So yeah, I hope I enjoy it.
Makes sense. kind of matched what I did with that, the shonen score.
Yep. Yeah, so Lupin is just wacky fun most of the time. It's very rare for me to be disappointed with Lupin, just because there isn't really much to be disappointed in. It's like, you know, are you going to be disappointed that it's samey? I mean, it's been samey since it happened. It's been samey since the early 70s, late 60s when it first came out. It's like, I mean, sure, you can grow out of it. You can not like it. That's understandable. But, you know, if you like it, it's one of those things like, you know the formula. You probably like the formula. It's never really deviates from that. And, you know, whenever it does, it's generally a spin-off movie. So, yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're getting to the even more wacky stuff. This is when things start going downhill. We've reached 6 out of 10.
The 6 out of 10 I chose. There was another show before, but
we
then
might piss some people off
changed.
now with these.
Nah, I chose Sousei no Omyoji for 6 out of 10. It's standard shonen score for me. It's 6. So like this one, it's just it starts very rough. The characters, everything, they're very annoying, but it gets better with time.
Mm-hmm.
They grow on you. Also, like, if you're watching 50 episodes out of this, you need to commit. So after like 20, the characters start to grow on you. They actually have character development in shonen. So like that contributes for you getting used and understanding the characters better. But, you know, the rest, extremely standard stuff. Just extremely standard shonen, extremely standard score.
Alright, yeah, that's fair enough. You know, my standard usually goes up to a 7 for shonen, just because I watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my general rating for a 6 out of 10, I thought the perfect rating goes to Death Note from 2006. Come at me.
No, I mean, the first part, no. The second part, yes.
But there is a reason why. And that is, you kind of said it right there. It had something that either pissed me off or irritates me to no end. Whether the show starts out very well or has you hooked. I usually give these 6 out of 10s when I was looking through my list. Something just didn't hit right, and it left me infuriated. A big sour taste in my mouth. You just didn't hit the mark at the end. And Death Note definitely did that. That whole second half just went, why did you do this? There's Macross that does that. Not Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. The later Macross has that. So yes, it's always something that just pisses me off, irritates me in some way. Just something falls off a cliff, just deserves that 6 out of 10 rating that I'm just like, why did you do this? You were there, and then you managed to just rip my tongue out and show it to me. Kind of anime. That's Death Note. There you go. Tori, do you disagree with my controversial pick? I'm sure people
I do disagree with you because I like Death Note quite a lot. I agree that it's
like Death Note.
Like the biggest mistake of that thing is definitely just killing off L, but other than that, it's like,
whoa, spoilers.
I know, right? Oh my god, you spoiled Death Note.
I mean, the worst mistake they did was the fucking Netflix movie.
Well, yeah, sure. If you want to talk franchise whole, then yes, absolutely. But and for the 2006 series in particular, we're talking like the biggest thing, like the kind of downward spiral definitely starts there because, you know, the whole like there's a factory of similar produced, like whatever, who cares? That's not as fun, but whatever. Yeah, my number 6 goes to a childhood favorite of mine. Actually, goes to Digimon Adventure. It's a show that I absolutely loved the shit out of as a kid. Now as an adult, I don't like it as much. It's still good and I like it, but you know, I think a 6 out of 10 is a fair score for that show. Like it's above average. Like it's better than most other kids shows in my opinion. It actually tries to have a more serious story, actually has characters and shit like that. Unlike Pokemon, anything. So yeah, for me, you know, it was a childhood favorite, and it is a show that I still look at from time to time, and we've been watching the new Digimon right now, and I'm enjoying it. So.
We've done Pokemon versus Digimon just for the sake of it. It's in our Slayers episode back in episode 25.
What a cursed episode.
This is an awesome episode. You take that back.
Pokemon, Digimon, and Slayers in a single episode. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, we really...
You didn't want to have Dragon Ball thrown in there while you were at it.
No, Dragon Ball deserved its own episode, which doesn't have as many downloads as I thought it was going to have. But
it's Dragon Ball. You should have put a C at the end.
Yeah, Z would have had 1 million. But no, we did the original. All right, Hickey, what gets that fabled 50% score for you?
Alright, just a clarification. I think that will happen to everyone. There's a huge drop in quality. Once you're below 6, the quality is just
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. At least in my list, and it's something I realized. I don't have many 5 to below scores.
Wow.
So because of that, the shows who were there, it's like, especially because most of my scores are like technicals. It's like technicalities based, not so much how I feel about the show. So, my fifth one is something that will never ever get to television these days. It's Manyu Hikencho. No
what does
one
that
heard
translate
about this. That's a good question. I never bothered translating this.
Doesn't matter. Never heard of it.
Doesn't matter. It's a 5 out of 10.
I don't even know
Who
the
cares?
kanji that is going there. Basically, you guys never heard about Manyu Hikencho?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
What the?
At least not by that name.
Right.
Let's
Tori
see
and I are a bit lost,
translation.
Hickey.
Devil's Milk Sacred Book.
Yep, nope,
Okay.
never heard of it.
Definitely not familiar
Basically,
with this
in this show, it's a 12-episode series. There's a clan in Japan in the Edo period, and it's an alternate Japan where if you have big boobs, you are royalty.
Makes sense.
So this clan of the main character has a technique, since they are a ninja clan, that lets you steal the boob size of other people and increase yours.
Oh my God.
And it's basically a show of big boobed ninja woman going around trying to steal each other's boob size.
Hold on. Is this, God damn it, what's that studio called?
The one who makes... It's by Hoods Entertainment.
Yeah, Hoods. I was like, is this that fucking weird-ass Hood shows that I sometimes see gifs of? It is.
Yes,
it
it's
absolutely.
the one
Oh my god.
With the boobs jutsu. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the
no.
show's so
Then
good.
I know what it is.
Oh,
I've never seen it, but I've seen
I
enough.
remember the show so good. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So good. But it's so bad. It's so bad it's good. Oh man, I had so much fun watching this as a kid.
That's a perfectly legal adult.
It's okay. It was on television, so...
Yeah, okay, never mind that. That is okay.
But, like, everything is average when it comes to... It's Hoods. Like, everything is very, 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 very generic
I don't know what you're
most
talking
of the
about.
time
Hoods is
with
great.
animation and why not, but the story, man. It's just amazing. It's amazing to witness whatever the fuck that you're doing in this show. Go, GD. Go.
All
Number
right. 5 out of 10. So I've classified this as they are never as good as the original or sequel, or boring. So take the boring part. That's not this show. This is kind of in that first category of never as good as the original season. It's a sequel. I've put Space Battleship Yamato Season 3 from 1980. So, obviously, I think it's technically the 5th iteration of Yamato, because there's a couple movies, there's a special in between season 2 and 3. And it's not that I don't like Yamato season 3, it's just compared to the other seasons of Yamato, I start kind of rating them in comparison to the other shows of it. So I also have like a lot of Detective Conan movies in these, some One Piece movies. You know, everything's in comparison to another. I even have a couple Ghibli movies kind of in this 5 out of 10 rating. Not that they're boring or terrible, it's just in comparison to the other shows. Now, in the boring category, I could list a bunch of other shows kind of in the hickey category of what you did. So I thought I'd kind of go outside the box of why you might see a show that I do like. It's just not rated as high. It's because of that whole sequel comparison deal. So Space Battleship Yamato Season 3, 1980. It's that 5 out of 10.
I see. All right, so in my
What,
5
you disagree, Tori? You got something to say?
No, I haven't watched it. In my 5 out of 10, my 5 out of 10 is generally just means average.
Yeah.
So for me, it's probably a show that you will never hear anybody talk about ever again, and that is White Album 1. I was about to say the prequel to White Album 2. Technically, yes, but not really.
It's comparatively.
Yeah.
NTR, the anime.
Exactly, that's the one. So White Album 1 is it's based on a visual novel, and it's kind of this very strange kind of take on a, like, I don't even really want to call it the fucking love triangle or a fucking whatever. There was a lot of girls there by the end. Some of them were maybe romantic interests. Some of them might not have been. Who knows? People sleep around because, you know, you gotta have that. And it's just a weird mess of an anime that's like, you look at staff, you look at people, certain people, and there is competent people working on this anime, and you can see glimpses of that. They tried to frame everything in a very interesting light for like a visual novel adaptation. But it's such a inconsistent mess that all I can really think of is like credit for trying, but it just comes off as kind of amateur. Like people they didn't really know what to do, so they kind of tried a bunch of stuff. Like they tried to frame, because, you know, there's a lot of like inner conflict and a lot of like inner thoughts that needs to get fleshed out, so they kind of just flesh those out by just pasting white text on the screen every once in a while, just like, oh, look, he's thinking this and thinking. It's like, I see what you're going for, but it just looks kind of weird. So I don't know. But
the story's not that likable.
No, it is, but that's not really.
It
that doesn't bother me.
much.
That doesn't bother me. I don't need to like it. It's kind of like I enjoy parts of it. I can see what they're going for. Like, it's a different kind of romance. But it's not. It's just it's strange, right? At the end of the day, I watched both seasons of White Album 1. I had no problem watching it. I wasn't like, I didn't hate it, but it's just kind of there. Although, to be fair to White Album 1, while I do like White Album 2 better, the music in White Album 1 is just way better than White Album 2.
Alright, so now it's 4. The 4 out of 10. And, oh boy. I don't know why this anime is so high rated in my anime list, but oh well. It's one of my actually favorite animes. Not because it's good, it's because it's bad. Some decisions were made in that which don't make any sense. I don't understand why they did it. I honestly don't understand. I honestly don't understand anything in this anime, but I guess a good clue to know is it's from a visual novel, and it's the visual novel was developed by the same people who developed Two Horned. So the anime is called Comic Party, and I talked about this show a few times in the podcast. It's from 2001, and we honestly need to review this. So basically, it's a shitty Genshin. Let's go with that.
Oh,
Taishi,
you've
the main
convinced
character.
me.
Yeah,
It's a shitty version of a better anime.
Yeah. Daishi, he's like this normal dude. He basically faceless extra guy in Japanese animation. He gets just dragged to the anime world by a friend. And his friend is very obnoxious. There's a bunch of obnoxious old ass 80s anime tropes that you see like in slaves and shit. But basically this guy, he's a normal dude, gets dragged in like to the otaku world. Then he enjoys it very much, and he really enjoys the fan books, the doujin. So he started to train, and he becomes a doujin maker or a doujin draw, the artist, yeah, a doujin artist. The problem with this show is, aside the overused late 90s otaku jokes, for some reason the director decided to skip every single time the guy is just doing a comic. So the point of this show is the journey of this man in the otaku dom being a doujin artist. But every single time when an episode finishes with him sitting on his desk and say, "All right, I'm gonna draw my fucking comic book now." Next episode, you have like a 2-month time skip and the book is done. I don't know why they did that. I think the anime just is voided of purpose. And it's just like a lot. There's a lot of problems with the show, but it makes it so enjoyable to watch. It's such a mess. I love it.
Unbelievable. You know, Hickey, it can't. It has to be fate that you just have to mention Two Heart all the time, because my number 4, the 4 out of 10, is Two Heart from 1999, which we covered in the past on the podcast.
Yeah, the same developer did Comic Party. I really need to find the visual novel and see if in the visual novel they just escape the drawing process or whatever, how they did that. If it's just a skip and then the anime director's like, all right, what did you do in the visual novel for when he's drawing the doujin? They're like, oh, we just skipped. Okay, we have a time skip. That show has like 5 or 6 time skips. It's fun.
So we covered Two Heart, yes, back in episode 5 of the podcast, and yes, it made me question a lot of things. Mostly, that's why it's in the "Why did I watch this?" category that I have, which seems to be the 4 out of 10 range. It seems to have caused me mental anguish from all the way back when we did cover this podcast, and it just comes up all the time. So it just never left my mind. Why did I watch this? Two Heart, 1999. Tori, do you disagree with this at all?
You forced to watch.
God damn you, Hickey. It's your fault.
Did you also put Two Heart 4 out of 10, please?
No,
please.
I did not. No.
It's by the same developer?
No, I did not. Are we moving on? Are we moving on to me now, then?
Yes.
All right. Fine. My number 4 goes to a very special show by Go Nagai, based on a Go Nagai manga. It goes to Cutie Honey. God, I
Cutie
love
Honey
that
Universe?
show. Nope, Cutie Honey, the original Cutie Honey.
Wow.
God, I love that show. It is so bad, but I love that show.
So you guys have kind of gone with the "so bad you like it" score.
Yes, it did say favorite from each score. That's why it's my favorite number 4. I love Cutie Honey. It's funny.
The 4 is the fun one. The 5 and the 4 are the fun ones. It's really bad anime we just enjoy because it's bad.
Let's see if I can't look at my mal here and see
also
if I
just
a
fun things. We talked about Too Hard and we talked about Comic Party, but White Album is also by the same guys who did them. They're the same game developer. They also made Utawareru Mono.
Ooh, interesting.
Yep.
I have Tenchi Muyo, 4 out of 10. Quite like Tenchi Muyo. That's a so bad it's fun for me. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah.
Like all of mine are so bad it's fun when it comes to the lower side, except for except for the one.
Like shoes and
Devilman. Devilman.
Devilman is
4 out of 10.
Yeah, I did not like Devilman. The original.
Well, it's Devilman.
Devilman. It's Beltman. Beltman!
That's kind of what Yeah, a lot of the other Why Did I Watch This scores is there. Yeah.
Alright, Hickey. 3 out of 10. Let's go.
3 out of 10. The fabled 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. On my list, I had like 10 shows with a 3. And
Slim
the
pickings.
one I chose was Osama Game with the animation. Again, because it's fun. Okay? This show
Yeah, I
is
could
so
see that.
bad. It's so fucking bad. I wanted to punch myself and forget the fuck I saw. But I had a lot of fun doing so.
I wanted
So
to concuss
it's-
myself, give myself amnesia, just so I'd
Listen,
never
man.
remember. I
What
watched-
other show can you say that
Oh my
you
God.
watched where you have one of the main antagonists? Well, you have the main antagonist put a fucking used condom on her face, or where a girl gets caught on fire, just spontaneously combusts, and decide the best course of action is to strip. I mean, come on. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Clockwork, like I had Handshakers and Clockwork Planet, like those shows, I did not have fun watching it.
All makes sense.
Like,
I agree with
since
this.
since I didn't have fun watching it, I cannot recommend to anyone. I cannot quote those shows.
So I kind of went with the same deal. I thought about putting something like Clockwork Planet and among others. My 3 out of 10 I noticed is The Drop Zone. Or, upon reflection, I should have dropped the show. Why I finished it, I'm sure each show has its own reason with me. I usually keep track of all that, so I do know these shows. And one of them, I still remember to this day. It's Genesis Climber Mospeda from 1983. Okay, I went retro with this, and it's usually along those lines of, yes, I should have dropped this show. I have completed it. I have basically every show I've dropped in this 3 out of 10 range. That's the score. And Mospeda, for those that don't know, is one of the 3 anime that was shoved into the Macross abomination that was released in the United States. And upon watching that entire show, it's like, A, yes, I should have dropped this. And B, it's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible show. And there's nothing fun about it. That's my 3 out of 10 range, The Drop Zone. Tori.
All right. My 3 out of 10 3 out of 10.
Your 3 out of 10?
Yeah, my 3 out of 10 goes to
3
a
out of
special
1,000.
a special movie. It's something else. It's called iCity. And it is just, you know, those shows or movies that are just, nothing makes sense. The story, they didn't even try to have the story make sense. It's like you wonder why they even bothered putting this thing out. But then you watch it, you complete it, and you realize that, you know what? I know why this exists. That was fun as hell. There was so much pointless violence and stupid shit, and iCity as well. Oh my god, it's one of those. It is a shit movie. It is by all accounts bad, but it knows it and it owns it, and I love that. That's why iCity is my number 3, or the show, my favorite movie from that I gave 3. It's special.
He has a place in my heart.
It does. I will know that and Wicked City.
Oh boy. Okay, so my last show, because I don't give ones as well. This is the lowest of the low.
One is lowest of the low.
In the score 2, I have the only show I dropped, but left a score, because the show is so bad it needs to go down even more in the score. And things I really, really wished I haven't seen. And I chose Eromanga Sensei.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of people really like Eromanga Sensei. congratulations to you. You should seek medical health or just put a bullet in your skull. So, there you go. At least if you are very drunk, I guess it's fun. It doesn't compare to the show I dropped, Avenger. It doesn't compare to Berserk's second season. And it certainly doesn't even come close to Isekai Smartphone. So that's why I chose Eromaga Sensei.
There you go. My 2 out of 10 is always, it always gets this score. This show caused me physical pain in some way. Whether it's my eyes bled, I can't believe what I heard. The most recent one I could really give this score to, and I spoke about it on the podcast. It's the Seven Seeds anime on Netflix from 2019. It's a true abomination of something I loved, and my eyes did indeed bleed. So much so, it's hard to even talk about. Tori, please continue on, because I really don't want to give this anime even the benefit of the doubt, and more words shall be not spoken.
You should definitely watch the second season.
No. I can't go through that again.
Oh, man. All right. So my number 2 is actually goes to a show that I picked because I actually liked this show until a certain point when stuff started to absolutely go to shit. Which culminated at the end with a final fight that happens off screen. And I don't just mean that they cut the fight out. I mean that because they didn't have time to finish the episode, they just moved the camera and looked at the wall while the sound effects of the fighting happened on the outside of the screen. And it's just mind-boggling to me that they actually put that out. I don't understand why, but they did. This show is called Qualia Code.
I knew it was Qualia Code. I knew it. You gave it a 2?
Yeah! Dude,
I think I gave it a 4.
It was such a good show in the first couple of episodes. I really liked it. But then it just all went to shit. The story started to fall apart, and then the production just went to hell. It's like, what happened here?
Just like, what was his and her circumstances?
Worse.
Where the last episode is just like this artistic.
At least that's artistic.
Presentation. Yeah, this one is just a still image of some building exploding and the sound effect.
Not even a building exploding, just a sound effect.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's like, we made fun of like stuff like Nora and stuff like that for being poorly animated, but god damn it. At least it's still technically considered animation. Whatever Qualia Code did at the end there, that's not animation. That's just, here, look at this. I can't even say look at this pretty picture. It's a wall. Not a wall with anything in it, just a wall. Oh my god, that show.
Alright, Hickey, round us out.
He has no one.
Oh wait, you have no one. Alright, my turn.
I don't have a 1, because if a show receives a 1, there's like no point to it. Meaning, the shows who would get a 1 don't exist.
You're wrong.
Oh,
because again, if someone said, this is okay, put this on TV Tokyo in fucking prime time.
Oh, no.
That already qualifies it as a 2. So...
No. See, this is why you're wrong, because I have one that's worth it. And this goes all the way back to our very first episode of the anime podcast. Everything comes around, full circle. I have Cleon no Akari from 2017. It gets the full-on, why?
Oh, no, come on, man. Just don't bully the orphan even more.
Look.
I cannot believe that girl killed herself.
Look.
Holy shit, that anime. Oh my god. Oh man.
So, yes, just us reiterating it, very first episode, Cleo no Akari. It gets the solid 1 out of 10, the most bottom of the barrel you could possibly imagine. There's nothing redeemable about it other than we all shitwatch. It is the shitwatch score, you could also argue. Tori, did I just bring back horrible memories?
No, I actually forgotten about that show. I'm glad.
Oh.
I don't even think
I'm
I
glad
gave it
you
a 1.
did forget about it. I wish I could forget about it. Did you also give it a 1?
No, I don't think I did. I think I gave it a 2.
Oh, boo.
But yeah, no. So my one goes to a special OVA. So, ignoring what Hickey said about being so bad, like it can't be bad if it was on TV. This thing wasn't even on TV, so fuck you.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
It never even made it that far because it's a single episode OVA called Mars of Destruction. You all know it. You all hate it. And,
yes. Yes.
same. It's one of those. It often gets the reputation of being the worst anime ever made. I disagree. But it is still down there. So, it's one of those shows where it's like, it looks bad. The story, whatever is the story for that show. I know there was something about regular dude fighting back against aliens with special cyber police anime girls, and though they die, and this shock horror normal dude is not actually as normal as you might think. And then some shocking revelation at the end where the alien basically goes be like, "We're not the invaders here, you are." Because, you need that at the end. And stuff like that. And it's just like, the end credits roll and you're just sitting there like fucking, your head in your hands like, what? Where did that come from? You're the invaders. I don't know. All I remember is you guys literally just shooting down from heaven to destroy everything. Who's the invaders? You're the one destroying everything. Sure. Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. I was like, they're trying to be profound in like the fucking final 10 seconds. It's like, you maybe should have written something about that. To have that mean anything. You can't just drop a fucking big bad alien dude in and murder a bunch of people and then at the end go, "You did this." It's like the epitome of that fucking meme. The guy, they're like, dude sits there, gets shot, guy turns around and like, "Why would you do this?" It's literally that, but in anime form.
There you go. So that was a fun little topic. I quite enjoyed this. Hope everyone enjoyed it as well. That was our 1 through 10. Feel free to, write them down, post it on Twitter, hit us all up, use the hashtag RedleafRetrocast as usual. Fun stuff. Shall we get it onto our review over Touch Part 2?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
All right, just got to make my little timestamp mark here. There we go. All right. We are reviewing the baseball love-stricken anime Touch from 1988. Is this correct?
I don't think it is.
1985.
Yeah.
1985. So we're doing episodes 27 through 54. It's Arc 2. Last we left off, well, the story goes, it's twin brothers and the girl next door. They got their little trio thing going on. They grew up together, and of course, there's a love triangle there. Kazuya is the quote-unquote younger brother, and he's the baseball star. And Tatsuya is the older brother that is kind of the free spirit of the bunch. And Minami is the girl next door, like I said. And it's your coming of age type story. There's everyone's got their own little quirks about them, and Tatsuya is kind of the fuck up in everyone's eyes. He's the goofball. And basically what happens is right before the big game, Kazuya gets hit by a car and dies.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's a very shocking moment in the anime, to say the least. It's a game changer, you might say.
Literally.
And yeah, and he's obviously, Kazuya is deeply in love with Minami. He's more the forceful. He wants to prove himself. Go to Koshin, win the big game for the town and the school and everything. Everyone has high hopes for him. And bang, in a shattered dreams moment, it's all over in a flash. And meanwhile, Tatsuya is kind of battling his own little inner issues. He joins a boxing club. He's trying to prove himself in his own quirky little way. And of course, Minami is struggling with kind of meeting everyone's expectations of being with Kazuya. Everyone has that expectation of her, including the school, voting for them being best couple. But she actually comes to terms and kind of accepts her own love for actually Tatsuya. And they have a nice little moment there in the anime. It's a bit of a slow moving one, but everything plays out kind of in a realistic way, whether you want that to happen or not. I think it's written incredibly well, and that's kind of what we discussed in our review part 1, way back when, a year and a half ago at this point.
Yeah.
In the anime cast. So here we are with part 2. The death has occurred, and a lot of things were left up in the question mark of, fuck, what's going to happen next? And you could kind of see with the way Tatsuya reacts and what's going to happen with the baseball team. And they kind of hinted at Tatsuya wanted to join the baseball team in part 1. And here we are in part 2, where it's mostly Tatsuya trying to fill his brother's shoes and overcome his brother in a lot of ways. He wants to prove not only to the town, to himself, that he can eclipse his brother. And now that he's dead, the only way, at least this is my interpretation of how the story plays out, the only way he can do that is win Koshin, something his brother was never able to do. And it's more or less carrying his spirit along as well.
I mean,
and that's what happens.
It's not even so much winning. It's just kind of the whole thing. Like Kazuya's thing was like he promised Minami that he would take her to Koshin.
Right.
So
but
that's
you can say win.
No, I know. But it's like
you don't go to the finals and be like, I'm just happy to be here, guys.
Well, you don't have to go to the finals. You get to Koshin before you get to finals. That's kind of my point. So it's like they never specified they had to win there. It's just kind of
come on.
They want to take her. He wanted to take her there. Now he couldn't because Kazuya almost did. Obviously, he got a serious case of getting hit by truck, and that's probably got isekai. So
that usually is a bad condition.
Yeah, well, at least he gets to live on in another world.
It's a lot more common in anime than one thinks.
Now it's just
living in a new world as a baseball league.
That's a show. No, but like now it's Tatsuya trying to take up the mantle and getting Minami to Koshin, but he isn't as good, or rather, something that they always showed was that growing up, Tatsuya was always more naturally gifted than Kazuya was. It was just lazy. He didn't bother doing anything.
Right.
So eventually, kind of, as with anything, any natural gift, if you don't keep up with it, it's never going to stick around. So, but you still see, like, he kind of debuts for the baseball team. Like, he shows that he's got a really fast fastball. Like, he can throw really hard. He just has no accuracy whatsoever.
Right. He has no control to this huge velocity that he has.
Yep.
So I actually found that kind of the most interesting baseball aspect of the entire anime in this season. So I've watched Major. I've watched 4 seasons of that show. I haven't seen the rest of it. And the major flaw, if you will, is that they don't really take... And this is a problem I have with a lot of sports anime, which we've discussed in the past, where it's always, I have to stay in because even if it like costs me my arm kind of situation, or the coaches just don't really teach him anything, or the list the list goes on and on and on. And what was shown here at its most basic element is Tatsuya. Yes, he was. They showed us very early on that yes, he's naturally gifted, but he just needs to work at it. And what do we got here? He's naturally gifted. He has a extremely high velocity to his fastball, way above a skill level of a high school team, obviously, and something extremely similar happens in Major. And by the fall, he has control of it. He can hit the strike zone basically.
Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat. There's a really, really cool game. He gets a quote-unquote rival that he doesn't really see as a rival. And they go to a extra inning game in the rain, which is really cool. And, well, the rain kind of throws you off. You can't grip the ball well. And there's a really cool line in it where it's like, fuck, his velocity hasn't dropped, and they're in 11 innings in, right? Mm-hmm. He out pitches the number 1 ranked pitcher in the region. But the rain caused him to, walk everyone home. He loses control, and that's his flaw, right? So, really cool baseball element to it all, and just from my own baseball knowledge, and what I generally see in a lot of, at least, especially growing up, where kids that don't play baseball from age like 6 until 16, in this case, you can learn the basics really fast, right? And if you have that talent, you will reach that high school level a lot quicker, and your big advantage, you just don't have the game mentality there. But what ends up happening, especially for pitchers, is they don't have the wear and tear on their shoulder and elbow. So it makes total sense that Tatsuya can last 11 innings and his velocity doesn't drop because he doesn't have that wear and tear to it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I really liked how this all played out with Tatsuya's skills and how he's able to develop, and it kind of works with his boxing because he was working on his arm strength this whole time as well. So all these things just roll together on top of each other, and that's why he was able to prove himself.
Not only that,
I really like the baseball element.
Yeah, not only that, one of the things I really liked, tying into the whole baseball thing, boxing thing again as well for the baseball, it's like, one of the things is that he was really, obviously tying it into his character again, because he was kind of, he was afraid, he didn't really want to punch people.
Right.
He didn't really go get, that's kind of has been his personality for a lot of it. It's like, he doesn't really go and get anything. He kind of just hangs around back. And, Harada, one of his friends, the bully, he has kind of been on there as well. Isn't it time for you to step onto the field of play already? Or onto the stage, stuff like that.
Right.
Right? To kind of, because, as he said, to quote as poetically, a drama isn't fun when there is no rival. And
yes, what a great line.
Yeah, right. But it's what I liked as well. It's the thing that they always got to him about in his boxing for Tatsuya was that he had good reflexes. He wasn't good at throwing punches, and he wasn't really going after people, but he was good at avoiding getting punched. And kind of that thing that kind of also ends up playing out in a game where he throws and he gets us the pitch gets hit. And it just gets knocked forward, and he just kind of throws out an arm and grabs it. And stuff like that.
The heavy line drive up the middle, and you see that in real baseball games where it's just, how'd that guy catch it?
No, but when I saw it, I was just like, wow, they actually decided to use his reflexes for something as well. It wasn't just a one-off line.
Yeah, I mean, the other side as well is him going to the baseball team is how smart he actually is.
Yeah.
It's you need to be lazy, you need to be extremely smart. And Harada, Harada in the background is always everyone called his brother a genius, but especially when he was playing against the, what is his name? The very annoying guy, Nishimura?
Yes.
Yeah. The Nishimura team, where he was just giving balls and base on balls. And everyone was just booing and saying, they didn't translate that in the original, but the crowd was like, oh, where's the real pitcher? Saying, who the fuck is this claw? And while you have everyone who doesn't understand what's going on just booing and laughing at him, Harada with the Nita in the background, and Harada is just everyone called his brother a genius, but I think that feels he feels this role better. What do you think about him? And it is I cannot read this guy game. It's I don't understand what he's doing, and it's a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And you see more and more about that. Since you're paying more attention to him, you don't have the isekai protagonist to split your attention in characters. You realize all his erratic and weird actions throughout the first season or the first part of the show are all calculated to some point, to some degree.
It's just kind of selfless. But there's a lot of stuff. Like, it's something. Like, when he tries to, when Tatsuya tries to join the baseball team, as you can imagine, he wasn't exactly met with applause. It was like, oh, yes,
Right.
we're going to have him. It's like, people really didn't want him. And, oh god, what's his name? Kotaro, especially, the catcher.
Kazuya's best friend, yeah.
Yeah, he really doesn't want him there. What I like is one of the things, like, Tatsuya always gets on Kotaro's nerves. He always picks on him, always acts like a bit of a cunt towards him. One of the things, he does it again, right, when Kotaro is really down about the whole situation. And then kind of, Kotaro gets mad and stands up and tries to punch him. Now, every time they do it...
No, he lays it in.
Yeah, no, Tatsuya normally always just dodges him, right? It's like, he doesn't really have any problem. But instead, he kind of just takes it. Just stands there like, oh shit, you got me. Right? It's like, kind of gets annoyed at that. It's like, oh, you gotta punch him. It's like, just kind of plays it up. But it's so interesting because you know that if he wanted to, he could have avoided that.
Sure.
He didn't have to take that. But it's kind of just because, he knows he's being an asshole. He knows that, like, he needs to get punched.
Right.
So it's like, there's a lot of those minor things that's like the more you watch, you just pick up on it. So it's really nice touches, and I'm glad that they included it because, again, most stories wouldn't even bother with these things. Like, it's like, they don't really matter that much, but like individually, but when you pile them all together like this, it becomes a really big, like, really big character moments.
Yeah, it's subtle. It's what you call subtle character development.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment actually pertains to two characters. It's not just one.
Viewer awareness as well. Again, it's not like it wasn't there before. It's just because Tatsuya is now in the main stage. You're paying more attention, so you are aware of what is going on in a grand scale of this game. So, very, very good play. Very well played. They play well their cards, except when it comes to characters. But, like, aside that, more plot points? Yeah, let's go with plot points. Aside the first one, Kazuya just straight up dying in a car accident.
Kind of a big deal.
The plot points are not good. It's very easy to forget fucking Kotaro has a girlfriend. Just saying.
Oh yeah, that's yesterday's
and
news
Harada
now.
has his love interest as well, which they're just forgotten. In the second part, Tatsuya has a rival. The guy who admired him was his fan, and then became a rival, Yoshida.
Yeah.
And his developer is really good. He is basically what Tatsuya was to a certain degree.
Sure.
Because Tatsuya wants to, he only has one rival, which is Kazuya. And people start to go into Yoshida is like, look, if you want, you cannot be like this dude. Even it's something Tatsuya made very clear. You cannot be like me. You need to be better than me. You need to aim to surpass me. And everyone says that to him. He improves a lot. Like, a lot. To the point of aiming to be the ace pitcher. And it's like, man, this is such a good story. And then, like, he starts to become very, very selfish.
That's what we
Like,
put it.
I already surpassed this guy. He doesn't work as hard, And I was like, that's going to be interesting. When he realizes he's wrong and Tatsuya is actually this genius dude in disguise, and suddenly the show is just like, Yoshida will go to South America with his father. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, they kind of.
What do you mean he's going to South America? Why are you interrupting this?
He's going there to get better, Hickey.
Oh yeah, it's the training arc in a place where every single country don't play baseball.
Exactly.
Yes.
I agree. Like, it is a little bit unfortunate, but it also kind of makes sense. The whole rivalry happening kind of makes them, like, because he can't really play behind Tatsuya anymore. He's too focused on it. He kind of gets big-headed because, they have that, like, little practice thing, and he, with Nita, and he strikes him out, something that Tatsuya couldn't, and it's just like, look at me, I'm good. Or rather, he gets a, he got a strike on him or whatever. It's just like, look at me, I'm so good. And it's like, sure, you're good, but you failed to realize that the reason why you did that was because Nita didn't really care. He wasn't there to face you.
Right.
He didn't try. It's like, which they show later when he just gets absolutely fucking demolished. It's just like, you can't pitch to me. It doesn't work like that. I'm here to I'm here to play against Tatsuya because I can't make out what the fuck that guy's doing.
So, for those that want a little information there, Nita is the baseball ace of, well, everything.
The city.
Yeah, he's the 5-tool player. He can hit, he can pitch, he can field, everything you imagine, and he's a step above everyone else. He's bored of baseball because he's way better, and he becomes more or less your third wheel rival, right? Which I imagine it's all being set up, and they kind of end with Tatsuya striking him out, and he leaves him with the line, "Baseball will be fun again." And he's even got his sister that kind of plays the mole of the team.
Yeah, he likes Minami as well.
Yep.
He had the motorcycle accident. I was like, oh, this show is not pulling again. Like this shit again. Come on, you cannot just Minami has the kiss of death. It's like everyone who is interested in you ends up in a car accident.
Sure. So yeah, now we're getting our love square kind of situation, but the show does a good job with, we know it's Tatsuya and Minami, right? We know this. But there's this, it's like a forbidden love in a lot of ways because Kazu's dead now, and there's the kind of, I don't want to say stereotype, but there's a black mark on them being together in the eyes of everyone else, right? So that's where Nita and his sister comes in, where Nita is the baseball ace, the quote-unquote, you can kind of interpret it as replacement for Kazuya, a suitable replacement, if you will, for Minami, so he likes her. And then the little sister likes Tatsuya, and she's kind of the rambunctious, but it's more of a kind of a schoolgirl crush, not true love. And everything's set up very well for part 3, and that's what we're gonna get a lot of going forward. It's gonna be a lot more of the drama stuff rather than this season's focused on the baseball stuff and playing into the larger picture later on. I think it did it very well. Could they have done the pace faster? I think they could have. I really do. That's kind of what lost me through a little bit part of this part 2 here. Is everything just moved a lot slower, and it was much more baseball focused. So if you were a big fan of part 1 and how the drama was unfolding, how the characters were unfolding, the interaction between everything, you didn't get that same feeling in part 2 because of the heavy baseball focused of it all. But it...
Well, yeah. And Nishimura doesn't help.
No. No, the Nishimura stuff kind of wore on me after a while. The slow interactions of everything and trying to get from point A to point B, that was slow. So I didn't love this as much as I did with part 1, but what they focused on, just as a baseball fan, and how it played into a lot of the things as we spoke about earlier in part 1 with Tatsuya and his past and how that came into play. I did like that, just everything moved at a snail's pace.
No, I agree. I still like this part. I do still think the first part is better, but I kind of see why.
Absolutely.
I think because there is a lot of stuff that has to be set up for the continuation, and if my assumption is right with where this is going, from what I've heard and what I know a little bit about this, I can see a lot of stuff happening, and I'm curious. Like, that's probably the thing that I'm most curious about is what I'm gonna think about the ending to this, because I know, or rather, I have an idea of certain things that's gonna happen. I think I see where they're going with a lot of these things. Again, Car's always kind of been there type situation, but I wouldn't know how they get there, because I know people rate this show a lot, but I hope it's not just kind of a like, can't win them all kind of ending. It's going to be a little bit...
So
I promise. Yeah, that is true. It's like, oh yeah.
I mean, just listen to the
episode
songs in
100.
this
Sorry,
goddamn
we
show.
couldn't-
Every
we
song is like
couldn't-
fucking, like melancholic, like.
Life
100
ain't what it
episodes.
used to be.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, you can see what they're going for.
Yeah, I'm very afraid we're gonna get another car coming out of a parking spot. You know, it's a looming danger in this show in the 80s. Now I've watched Maizuni Kaku. Okay, that's a love story with a lot of melodrama, a lot of slow pacing to it, but the payoff is so good at the end. I really hope we can do something along those lines of covering that show. Maybe, who knows when, right? But the reason why I bring it up is because of that ending. The payoff is just so satisfying, right? It's everything you work towards. I'm with everything that's built up for part 3 and especially part 4 that we'll eventually cover. We will finish this show for the podcast. There's no doubt in my mind. Part 3, I see it set up for Forbidden Love, right? It's now Kazuya part 2 with Nita, right? And then maybe we get that's like, I could totally see Tatsuya seeing Minami with this dude Nita and being like, you don't deserve me. You deserve a guy of his level, right? And then we have Nita's little sister.
It was kind of the ending of. Yeah, I think that was half resolved at the end.
I mean, I this is why I see it's such in Tatsuya's personality. Will I see him going out on like a date and him trying to figure out his true feelings with Nita's sister? Sure, I could totally see that happening. But really, we just get that realization that no, Tatsuya is all about Minami, right? And what's best for her. Is that himself? I could see him saying no, he's not good enough.
Sure. I don't necessarily think it's going to be quite like that. Like, he is becoming a little bit more selfish. Like, when the whole introduction to Nita kind of happened, and their whole thing, like, he's starting to get more jealous. Something he didn't really do that much of before.
Well, that's
like
the progression of the character, right?
No, I know, right? But that's
I'm
why
just
I
saying
don't really...
step 1, in order to get to that part where he finally admits to all this, and
are they going to be around each other?
There's a step
lot?
in between.
Yes, because Minami is definitely interested in Nita. Put it that way. There's a lot of
in him.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that there, and
Have
again,
you seen that hair of his? Oh, it's glorious.
Yeah,
it's all permed up.
He had a lot more hair than I remember. I was stupid, right? I watched this show right after we watched the first part because I was like, I'm going to be on top of it when we get back to watch part 2. So, I was stupid because we didn't watch part 2 until a year and a half later. So, I just watched the recap episodes at the end to kind of get freshened up on what happened. And I just see him again, and I'm like, I do not remember he had this much hair. I'd forgotten that. Well, yeah, no. It's, there's a lot of stuff that can go. Nishimura can get lost, I agree. At least I'm glad that it took a while before him. This is why I'm glad with a more slower pace. I'm glad it took a while before Nishimura actually entered the picture, because when I was watching this, I also watched Mix because that was airing, which is by the same author and technically the same story, but just kind of more modern and new characters and a little bit new dynamics. But god damn it, the character that is just like Nishimura in that show shows up pretty much immediately.
The truck model is also very new.
Yeah, the truck model is also very new. They also do the fucking motorcycle accident thing there. Just they like poking fun at like stuff that happened in this show, kind of like throwbacks to people that have watched both of them and be like, "Oh my god, there was an accident." There was? No, never mind. There was nothing. That's kind of, but there's a lot of stuff from Mix that just kind of, you see the equivalent to Touch, and it's just like, why would you include this immediately? It was annoying enough in Touch. Why is he here now? But yeah,
there you go. Yeah, same. They hit the music a little bit more in this one.
it's only one score. It's the same music over and over
No,
again.
no. Don't be
So,
ridiculous. They have at
I-
least 2 songs.
Yeah, come on.
No,
Hey, don't
it's
don't put us
like
down
it's
that.
the same song. It just changed the melody.
That
Like-
makes it a different song. The meaning is the same.
It goes from a J-pop to a romantic J-pop. It's like
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's
different.
the same lyrics as well. They did actually hit more, but since it has the same lyrics, basically the same arrangement, it just changes the melody. It is extremely overused, and at some point, I would hear the music and I would just recoil a little bit.
I like the music
Because
still
I
a
was
lot.
just-
It's not...
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
definitely
the
isn't.
First,
They need
the first 10
more-
episodes was good, but like after a while, I was just like, oh, this music.
They need
again.
more variety for sure. It's it is just 2 songs, literally just 2 songs over and over again. But I do find it kind of interesting for certain parts. Like I do still like, I do like that they come out over baseball games and shit like that as well. And it's just like it's so not a baseball song. It's so much a tension song, but it makes sense for what's going on. Like it makes sense for the story. It just doesn't make sense for the game.
Right.
My girl, so none of it.
My girl,
My girl.
And everyone is just beating the shit out of each other in the fucking baseball match.
But it makes sense. Holy cow!
It's like,
just
it's like
think about me.
Tatsuya-
Think about me, and you will win.
Tatsuya looking at the sky, thinking of this is his brother. Like, what would you do in this situation? I miss you so much, my girl.
My girl.
Dude,
My
I
girl.
understand you like this song, but goddamn, it becomes really annoying after a while.
When your
Nah,
budget
come on,
is so
Craig.
low that you could only afford 2 songs.
Better than one.
Might
All
as well
right.
just start incorporating the OP and AD as well. Go for it.
Oh, that is true. The money went for the OP and the ED.
So I can't wait to see how Tatsuya continues to develop, and we get the next step in him and Minami. I can't wait to see him. Can't believe I'm saying this, but actually get better at baseball.
All right.
See how that plays out.
What if he gets worse?
What are will he get the yips?
Will his back finally give out?
Oh yeah.
Well, yes, he is about to pitch the final pitch to win them the game. Truck-kun comes out of nowhere, spiraling out of control.
The fucking lawnmower rolls him over. Oops.
I am out of control! Out of my way!
Yeah. So I
It's
really
just
like.
At this game, finally, we will go to Koshien, and I'll fulfill my brother's wish. Fucking baseball hit him in the head. He has a concussion and dies.
Oh god, it's a line drive
damn.
right at his head. Oh god, I've seen that before.
No. You gotta have, he's gotta pitch, and then the batter looses his bat and just...
Just comes flying. Oh my god.
Becomes an amnesia anime.
Who am I? Where am I? Why am I?
Yeah. So I'm ready to score
You'll
this.
be resurrected in a new world. Just kidding.
That would be something.
Oh. Yeah, it would be,
All of a
that would be
sudden,
quite a-
this Koshien love story is now an isekai.
Oh god.
a harem isekai.
We need to get to Koshien from another world.
I hate your fantasy.
Yeah, it will be just like the fucking wrestler anime. Oh my god.
Please no.
They gotta prove themselves, so they have to beat the princess in baseball.
It shouldn't come as any surprise. I did not finish that show.
Oh man.
All right.
I cannot wait for this. This will be fun.
I'm ready to score this, boys. I looked at my past score from season 1. I did give it a 9 out of 10. This one I felt was more shonen based, and no shock, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Playing off our little 1 to 10 ranking game too. So there you go. So that brings my overall score of the show to an 8 out of 10. Very interesting.
Yeah, probably same. I still have it set to an 8 here on my Mal. Makes sense for me, but I'll probably give the second part like a 7, so like a 7.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's I like this second part as well. It's just kind of not quite as much. There's a lot of good here. There's also just a lot of waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, we're definitely waiting for part 3 and 4. That's what's happening here.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 as well. I could drop to 6 because of the music. But
nah, you got to put your mind in the 80s for that part.
Yeah. And then I was like, let it go, man. It's not
Let
worth
it go.
Like,
Let it go.
Let it go.
Want to talk about a
the
song?
7 is a good story for it.
So yes, we do have Touch Part 3 penciled in for an October release right now. So we're not going to wait a year and a half to cover
I am
part
not
3.
watching ahead again. I'm not taking that chance.
Yeah. So there you go. Our next episode is finishing Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Part 4. We can't wait. Yes, 87 through 110. So hopefully you've been keeping track. And then for fun on Twitter, I'm gonna copy paste our picture of our schedule for our next few episodes here, so you can watch along with the podcast, get ahead along with us. So look forward to that. And with that, this was episode 80, guys. Holy shit!
Yeah, an 80s episode for episode 80.
That was absolutely planned. We did
Absolutely
it on purpose.
planned, of course, right? On purpose.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we're trying to stick to our
the truth finally comes out.
Yeah, we're gonna try to stick to our old little schedule of different decade anime for each episode, so we don't do that twice. We've been kind of ignoring that for the time being a little bit too much. So we're back to our 80s and the 90s and maybe 2000s and then 70s and so forth and so forth.
And the 90s and then 80s and then 2000s
yeah,
and then
yeah,
80s
yeah.
and then 90s.
Just try to
and
not
then
do the
80s
same
and then
decade 2
90s
times in a row. So look for a little bit more variety going forward. That was episode 80. Red Leaf Retrocast. Continue following us on our website, redleafretrocast.blogspot.com. Leave us a nice little iTunes review or Podchaser review or what have you. We will read it on the podcast. No reviews are really coming in lately. It makes me sad, guys. Makes me sad.
Yeah, man. Review us.
Review us.
Yeah, you don't need to be cautious about your review as well.
We're not telling you to leave a 5-star review, however.
Yeah. It's okay. We also hate ourselves.
Aww. And perfect note to leave off. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
風が踊るグランドベンチの隅誰かがほら忘れていたわユニフォーム汗にまみれあちこちあふれかけて手に取ると涙が出たねえ音も立てず過ぎてく青春